Am I the a-hole for not letting my mom meet her grandchild because I am still upset she divorced my dad? Backstory. My mom divorced my dad when I was 11 because she did not want our grandma to move in with us. She was afraid of being a caregiver, but she did not push for primary custody and left me living in an environment she did not want to live in. It was rough, and during the time I did end up becoming a caregiver, which I understand is why she left, but she left me to live the life she herself did not want. For a time I did resent my dad, but as I grew up, I grew to understand why he did what he did. Grandma was awesome and was full of love. I still don't forgive my mom, though. I understand why she made the choice to leave, but I will always hold it against her that she left me in an environment where she wanted no part of herself. 3 years ago, my husband and I welcomed a beautiful baby girl. My dad, aunts, and uncles think I should let my mom meet her grandchild. My dad was always a better person. He never held it against her, but I still do. I don't hate what my life was, but I do hold it against her that she left me to live in an environment she herself was not comfortable with. Everyone tells me it has been 16 years and time for me to let it go. I have not spoken to her in those 16 years. She was not even invited to my wedding. I don't know. My dad agrees it is okay for me to not have a life with my mom, but he feels I should not cut my mom off from her grandchild. I am torn. Some of Up's comments. Employ vegetable 4539. NaH, in terms of the baby. You get to decide who sees the baby. Very gentle YTA for the rest. OP, you were 11. It is highly unlikely that the sole reason your parents divorced is that your mother didn't want to be a caregiver to your grandmother. Given that you've not spoken to her in 16 years, you have never gotten her side of the story. OP, it was 100% a reason. I have gotten her side from my family. She did not want to live with my grandma. Sure, maybe other reasons were present, but at the end of the day, she willfully made a choice to leave me in an environment she wanted no part of. How does a parent justify that? Music with rocks in YTA. Your father tried to force your mother to be a caretaker for his mother and wouldn't back down even when she divorced him, so he forced you to be her caretaker instead. That is your father's fault. The fact that you forgave your father and your grandmother, who created the situation you hated, but not your mother, who didn't, is astonishing. You are basically saying that you blame your mom for your dad abusing you. It's a lot harder to get primary custody than you think, and there could have been many factors that you didn't see that kept your mom from getting custody of you. My mom could have fought for primary custody instead of being a weekend mom. She left me in an environment she wanted no part of. How does one justify that? So it was okay for her to get out, but leave me to live a life she wanted no part of. To another commenter, what I have been told by my aunt and her sister was that my father bought her out of the house, and they came to an agreement that I would stay in the same area for school and stuff. Early on, I did tell her how miserable I was and wanted to live with her. I was okay with changing schools and whatever. My mom kind of just ignored it. I don't know, maybe I am being childish here, but why leave if she could also not afford to take me? I don't see any justification she could have. She cannot say she was unaware since I did make her aware. She could have fought. New comment 668, NTA. But why would you forgive your father for making you a caretaker for your grandmother, but not your mother for not taking you out of the situation? Your mother was not obligated to be a caretaker for your father's mother. You saying that your father never held it against her, but you do, is messed up. OP. At first, I did resent him, but he was the one that actually took care of me. I saw my mom on weekends. My father was the one that made time for me. My mom barely saw me outside her weekend time. Early on, I told her I wanted to stay with her. I did not like being with my dad or living with my grandma, but she ignored me. Sure, maybe I have bias. I was a kid and that situation became my new norm. I had to make it my norm. What other choice did I have? I guess I forgave him because just like I saw myself having no alternatives, I saw the same for him. To another commenter, I don't know, maybe if I had to put into words, my dad took grandma in because she needed the help and no one else was willing to step up. I grew to understand the why. Grandma was his mom. What was he supposed to do to leave her to rot alone? At first, I did not understand this, but as I grew up and spent more time, she also became a special person to me. Aggravating, depth 33. You were literally a child. How do you know what she did or didn't try? It's not like your father was an unbiased source. OOP. She left me in that situation. If she could not have left with me, why not stay to shield me from what she herself wanted no part of? She knew I wanted to be with her, so I told her what was going on. I find it hard to believe that if she wanted 50-50 at the bare minimum, she would not have gotten it. Even still, why not go to the court and ask about the caregiving stuff? I told her no one from court ever spoke to me about that stuff. So either A, no one believed me, or B, she did not try, or C, courts don't care about children becoming caregivers. She also could have set the boundary that I was not meant to be used as a caregiver. Both my parents could have handled it better, but my dad did not leave me now, did he? My mom left to save herself from my dad leaving me for the fate she wanted no part of. Nervous brother Sucky 8. Okay, but you haven't explained why he didn't act as her caretaker. Why he expected your mother and then you to do it. He also wasn't willing to step up to do that. OOP. My best guess was someone had to work, LMAO. Not like I could work and go to school at 11. I get it, people want me to also hate my dad. At first I really did, but as time went on, I guess I just got tired of living in a house full of hate. Not like I had anywhere else to go, so over time I accepted this as what families just do, I guess. I cannot put into words why I don't hate my dad. Despite everything, he was my constant parent in my life. To a longer comment, thanks, this does sum up the situation really well. I think if I spoke to her before I became a parent, I would be more understanding. Just now that I am a parent, I truly don't see how she can justify what she did. I went into this with an open mind, but having so many people, as you said, bent over backwards to try and excuse what she did has made me more upset about the situation. Editor's note. If you're going to read one comment, read this one. It encapsulates everything OP is thinking. OP, people keep saying she-mom had limited control. Who was looking out for me when I was 11? I saw my mom on the weekends. My dad was the one that pretty much raised me. At first, I did hate him. I begged my mom for help and she ignored me. She was one of the people that told me to cool it with telling people because I could end up in foster care. My own mother told me that. I did go into this with an open mind, but so many people are acting like she had no other choice but to leave her only child in a situation she herself wanted no part of. As stated at first, I did not resent her for leaving. I resented her for leaving without me. As stated, I don't know why over time I forgave my dad. I just one day found myself not hating him. I grew to understand what Grandma meant to him, and over time she became a very special person to me. She was more of a mother to me than my actual mom at times. Even if I ask her why she left me in that situation, as a parent I cannot fathom leaving my child behind. If I could not get out of a crap situation with my kid, I would stay until I could. I get why she wanted to protect herself, but who was going to protect me? I did figure out that working together made caregiving a lot easier. Had my mom not left, we would have had more hands on deck to help as we could share the load. My dad really had no one. Most of his family does not live in the United States, so that pool was limited and my aunts and uncles on my mum's side realistically had no reason to help. Would it have been nice? Sure. So many people want me to hate the person that tried the best he could with the cards he was dealt, while my mom got to play weekend parent trying to tell me my situation could be so much worse. Yeah, I am closed-minded because now she wants the privilege of being a grandmother when she barely was a mother to begin with. People say my dad was abusive. If he was so abusive to her, why have they remained on talking terms? It does not add up. My father has not once yelled or hit me even when I was in pain early on. He was patient with me the entire time. He did not want to put this on me, but options were limited. I get why he did not put her in a home. They are not great. Either way, I am done. There is no consensus bot on AITA. Opinions were heavily mixed. Top comments leaned YTA or NS. Update post? 2 weeks later. I know I was defensive, but many of the comments got me thinking. Originally, I had no intention of reaching out to my mom, but I briefly saw her at my cousin's house. She recently had a baby boy. I asked if she wanted to have breakfast one day and talk. She said yes, so we did. Right off the bat, I did ask her the big question. Why did she leave me? She told me my dad was no saint, but he was not abusive. She explained to me that the situation was complex. She told me he was trapped by his cultural obligations and sense of duty to his mom. She told me how he would not listen to her because that was his mom and she needed help. She told me how she tried to come up with a compromise like her getting a place nearby and we hired some help. He said that would cost too much. She told me his final compromise was she moved and they would hire help to reduce the burden. She just said she could not agree to that. I did ask why she didn't stay and see how things went. She told me if she did stay, she never would have left. She would have felt the need to stay to protect me. She admits it was selfish of her and a regret she has. But at the time, she did not want to feel trapped. I asked her why she did not fight for more custody and why she ignored my cries for help early on. She told me in her heart of hearts she felt I was better off with him overall. She said I was able to stay in the same school, be in the same neighborhood with my friends, and have a lovely house. She also said due to my age, he realistically was not able to force me to do a lot of the caregiving until I was older. She thought that would buy her some extra time to get her situation better. She regrets not telling me that, because by the time things got stable for her, I was already in high school and thought less of her. She did apologize and told me she wished she had tried harder, but she felt leaving was her only out. I also asked if the situation was so bad she felt the only thing she could have done was leave. Why is she still friends with Dad? She told me she did not leave him because she did not love him as a person. She left because she did not love what he was trying to do and wanted no part of it. We spoke about other things, but more or less I am conflicted. She did ask to meet up again for her birthday on the 29th. I told her maybe. I do appreciate her not asking to see my child. I have other things I want to ask, so maybe I will meet up with her again, but I don't know. I still feel anger towards her. I don't think her reasons are very good, but I am also bitter and still, so I don't know. I still cannot hate my father, and it also seems like my mother does not hate him either. Top comment. Fragrance spray. I don't think I understand the logic. She was concerned that if she stayed, she'd feel compelled to stay and protect you. So she left because she wasn't compelled to protect you, which she absolutely did not. To say this another way, rather than giving it a shot and if it doesn't work out, having to leave, I decided to just skip all that, abandon you now, and not worry about it. She decided that she did not want to care for her mother-in-law, and she'd rather give up her entire life and place that eventual burden on her child, you, than do it herself. She seems to have a lot of regrets about all the things she didn't do, now that it's too late to do anything about it. She wants you to think she's a better parent, she just didn't want to actually have to be a better parent. Now, she's hoping to just sweep it all under the rug. You can try to continue this relationship if you want, but you should understand that this whole thing is still all about her getting what she wants. So don't be surprised if you discover that down the road.